Hello darlings, in this week's video we're going to be making a spring salad souffle, which is otherwise known as a savoury Jell-O salad. We definitely do not associate Jell-O with being savoury nowadays. When you think of Jell-O or jelly, you think of something sweet and delicious and something that you have for dessert. Definitely not something that you would have for your midday lunch with prawns and salad bits and mayonnaise in it. That's bizarre. That's absolutely bizarre. But this is what was popular in the 1950s. They loved having these savory salads within gelatin. And this is what they would have served up at a 1950s dinner party. We're going to try and make this very unusual savory salad today. And I don't have my hopes on it tasting delicious. So I did choose a somewhat appetizing recipe from my 1950s Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. So this is called a spring salad souffle. So for this recipe, you'll need condensed cream of asparagus soup, gelatin, and I'm going to be using a vegetarian jelly. So the recipe does call for lime Jell-O, and since my gelatin is unflavoured, I'm going to be adding in some lime juice. I'm going to be adding in some shredded cucumber, shredded onion, diced celery, mayonnaise, vinegar, and parsley. So let's get on with it. Alright, I've just come over to the kitchen and I've got my pot on the stove ready. I'm going to mix the gelatin into the water in this pot, and then I'm going to add in my cream of asparagus soup. Alright, I've just opened up the condensed cream of asparagus soup and I'm just going to add that straight into here. Oh, it smells strong. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Oh, it sounds disgusting. Okay, just mixing all of that in together now. I'm just gonna add in a little bit more water. Kind of not really following the recipe anymore, but I feel like this vegetarian gelatin is a little bit different than regular gelatin. So we'll see how it goes. It just seems like it's really thickened for the small amount of liquid that it called for in the recipe. The funny thing is this recipe has really nice ingredients. It has the asparagus soup and onion and celery, so it would be really nice on its own, but not in a jelly. That's what makes it weird. So, and it's going to be cold as well. It's going to be a very, very different experience. It's looking a lot better at the moment. It's much smoother, so I'm just going to go ahead and add in my other ingredients now. As I said before, this recipe does call for lime Jell-O, and because I used an unflavoured gelatin, I'm going to add in some lime juice. Oh, I feel like this is, oh! Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm just gonna add the mayo into this, and then some grated onion and some vinegar. Putting the onion in here now. Oh, and a dash of pepper. Alrighty, so now that I've mixed in all of that, the mayonnaise is a little bit clumpy in here, so I'm going to put in the electric beater because that is actually what it asked for in the recipe. Okay, so I've turned off the stove even though it's still a little bit warm. Just gonna stick this here and I'm gonna blend this until it's nice and smooth. Okay, it's saying to chill this until it's partially set and then put into a bowl, but I don't want to put this in the fridge because this is hot. So I'm just going to transfer this to a bowl now, and I'll put this in the fridge. So maybe in 30 minutes we can come back and finish this off. So while the jelly is setting, I thought we could have a little bit of a chicken montage so you can see how Maud and Mabel are going outside. Mabel! Maud! Hi! Hello! Hi, girls! with me. No. Each time I try and go inside, Mabel seems to think that she can come in too. She just sits here and waits at the door, looking in like a little puppy. Bye, Mabel. Alright, I have to say goodbye to the chickens and get back to the Jell-O because it is almost fully set. It's meant to be partially set, so it's staying in the bowl, but I can still see it's got a bit of wobble in the middle and it's warm underneath. So the recipe calls for me to beat the jelly until it's thick and fluffy. So I think that's where the souffle part comes in. So I'm going to do that. Ooh, oh my goodness, it's fully solid. And then we'll put it in this bundt pan. You told me in the cherry cake video that I made, I'm pretty sure this is called a bundt pan, I think. So I'm going to be putting this mixture into this little mold. I hate stuff like this because it just flicks straight out of the bowl and I can't mix properly. It says beat so thick and fluffy, but I wouldn't call this thick and fluffy, I'd call it thick and lumpy. Because it's still so lumpy, I'm just going to keep blending until it changes consistency a little bit. Look, I'm just going to call that done. And I am now going to fold through some cucumber and celery. I'm just going to be shredding this cucumber with the grater and then finally slicing this celery. I've got my grated cucumber here, and now I'm just going to thinly slice the celery. Alright, now I'm just going to add this into my mixture here and fold that through. I think the weird thing about savoury jelly is, do you eat it by itself? I don't know, it's just kind of very strange. Do you just scoop off a hunk of it and put it on your plate and just eat the cold savoury lump and that's your meal? Alright, so I'm just gently folding these vegetables through and then that's it. We can put it in the mold and let that completely set. I did have a little bit of a try before to see what the flavour was like, and it doesn't taste very salty, so I mean, I know I could be making that worse for myself and making it even more gross, but I want to add a little bit more salt in so that it actually tastes like a savoury dish rather than in between sweet and in between salty. Alrighty, let's add in some salt. Okay, adding a bit of salt. And I wonder whether this recipe would have turned out green if I'd used a lime Jell-O. It probably would have. Okay, I'm going to put it in the mold now. Yay! And then we just have to wait to let it set. Then we can try it. I have my bundt pan here, so I'm going to be adding the mixture in now. Ooh. Alright, now that it's in there, I'm just going to smooth it out so that when I flip it upside down, it will sit nicely with a smooth bottom. Alright, it's all done. I'm going to go put it in the fridge and I'll see you back in another 15 minutes to half an hour. It's ready! Ta-da! Well, it looks exactly the same, but I'm gonna flip it out now, but I don't want it to fall apart, so I'm just gonna slide a knife around the outside. Oh, that looks promising. I hope this turns out. It's a little bit stressful. I don't want it to fall all over the place, so I'm just gonna do this, put the plate on top, and then flip it over. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't want it to crush and break. Oh my goodness! Oh no! It's kind of, well, it's in its shape, but unfortunately it's a little bit smushed. I wonder whether this happened because I didn't grease the little pan? I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna make do with our kind of deflated mushy donut and gonna decorate it and then we'll try it. Ta-da! It turned out really, really nice. I was a little bit disheartened when I flopped it out of the mold. It kind of looked a little bit disheveled on top, but it was actually okay in the end once I decorated it with a bit of parsley and the stuffed olives. So it looks really nice, and I could totally imagine this on a table layout for a dinner party. That would just be so cute. The presentation of foods back in the 1950s was so lovely, like top-notch quality. We don't really present foods in the same way. They have a lot of platter things that they decorate everything around it with lots of vegetation, and I think that's actually really nice. And it makes things look really appetizing and very, very different. Something that I'm not really sure about with Jell-O salads is, do you just like plop it on a plate and eat it? Yeah, I don't really know. So I've just broken up some crackers here, and I'm just gonna kind of eat it like you would a pate, or like a cheese. Because, I don't know, it just seems very unappetizing to just cut off a big slab and just eat it by itself. I'm just going to put a little bit on the cracker and try it. I just blew it. Okay. That's kind of nice. It's obviously unusual because it's cold, but the flavor's not bad. Like, obviously you wouldn't eat this by itself. That'd just be like eating flavorless slop. But on a cracker, yes. Look, see, I'm already going for a second cracker. The recipe didn't call for olives, but I just thought I'd add that in because I'd seen a lot of Jell-O salads that incorporate olives in there, and what a nice addition. Yum. I am so pleasantly surprised by this. I had my expectations very, very low coming into making this because I thought, who in the world would want to eat a savory Jell-O salad and it would taste disgusting? And I think one of the reasons why when people try and replicate the Jell-O recipes nowadays that it turns out so badly is because they use sweet gelatin. So, you know, if the recipe calls for lime Jell-O, maybe the 1950s recipe was just a lime unsweetened Jell-O, and that's what they were putting into these dishes, because that would just clash, having really, really sweet lime jelly and then adding a bunch of savory stuff in there. Like, it would make you want to howl. I think that's really helped using a flavorless gelatin, something that's not sweet, and then adding in that lime or any other additions that you want to make your dish authentic. Overall, I'm so happy with this recipe. I would definitely recommend trying it out, and I will leave the recipe in the description box below so you guys can try this out too. And if you do make it, make sure to tag me over on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye! Oh. This audio is going to be the weirdest thing ever. I'm just walking around talking to myself. So cute. Bye, Mabel. You can't come in, darling. No, hop out. Stop. Mabel, hop out. You can't come in. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you're gonna go away now, are you? Okay, bye-bye. Oh, you're gonna come back.